So tell us about the special holiday version of the Very Hungry Caterpillar Holiday Show.
So we
Mhm.
have there's many different stories depending on the show we do when we've been on tour and the shows in Europe. It's all over the world. We've got quite a few Eric Carle stories that we incorporate. This one has Dream Snow in it. So it is, again, it's a very similar Eric Carle story, but we've added this one story, which is Dream Snow, which is a farmer that, falls asleep and it starts snowing and he brings presents to his animals. So it's the first time we've done Dream Snow here. We've done it in other countries, but it's the first time we've done it here in the States, which is
Yeah.
what made it our
And so
holiday show.
brought it full circle because the other stories are the tried and true classic Eric Carle, which everyone came here for the caterpillar. But when it comes to Dream Snow, it ties in that holiday feel, the holiday music, the Christmas themes, and yeah, it's a dream. It's Dream Snow.
It's a dream and there's snow and presents.
For those who aren't familiar with the Hungry Caterpillar story, can you tell them about it?
Oh, Leonard, I'm gonna let you take this. You get to do it 7 times a week.
Oh yeah, I get to do it from every angle, every single role. Yeah. So the Very Hungry Caterpillar is about a caterpillar who's very hungry. So it takes through the life of I look at it as going through the life of a caterpillar from egg to butterfly and all the transformations in between. And it's funny because while there's the main arc of yes, he ate through all these foods, he ate through this, and then he had a stomach ache. There are also like subtle stories that are going on as well. Okay, wait. I feel like I'm taking this to like meta brain of caterpillar and not
All
the
right, let's hear
basics.
it. Well, let's hear your theory on what the caterpillar story is really about. Let's hear it.
It's
or the sub
about eating
or
your
the
vegetables.
subtitle.
Okay.
Well, that's it is. Yeah, and what happens when you eat junk food?
Yeah, and having a balanced diet.
That's right. Yeah, I mean it is. It's the journey of those week-long cycle of the caterpillar, eating through and going into the cocoon and turning into the big caterpillar into the butterfly, which is it's a
Okay.
really beautiful moment in the show. But yeah, it also there is like this subtext of eating healthy food compared to eating junk food and not feeling well when you eat junk food. So there is for such a simple story, there's quite a few things going on in it.
And you get to see the puppets of each. You get to see mini pillar, normal
Mhm.
pillar, chunka pillar, and then
Caterpillar,
and
caterpillar. Mm.
caterpillar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the family's getting to see. They're always the kids are always so mesmerized by each stage.
Well, and we save that story for the last story in all versions that we do. We always end on caterpillar because it really is. That's what everybody's coming to see is caterpillar.
It's a tough act to follow.
On the website, it mentions 75 magical puppets. Just tell me, just especially as an actor, just how do you actually get 75 magical puppets to come to life?
Okay, can I take this one?
You may.
Okay. First, I love puppets. I love Jim Henson puppets. I make I love puppets. So the thing that's like crazy, getting back to the question to okay, so when it comes to how they're made, these puppets are made by like this incredible team of we have a full New York production team that specifically puppet designers that make these puppets, but down to the inch to like the centimeter, these puppets are designed to identically match Eric Carle's drawings. And you can see it when you see like the shape of the eyes, the specific coloring, the bills of the ducks and the 10 little rubber ducks, and how the top is actually orange and the bottom is red because that's what he drew. And so it's like a pop-up book. They're done identically to those drawings. But then when it comes to actually performing with these puppets, Caterpillar is the most complicated. It's also the most expressive. It's on the stage for like 10 minutes, so it makes sense. That's the most expressive puppet, but it it really comes down to the execution and how amazingly this show is choreographed, that each puppet transitions seamlessly into the next one. And there at one point we have around like 10 puppets on stage at the same time. Um and
Yeah, in
and
Dream Snow.
and they are done so that they're easy to manipulate, because we have small puppets that are really tiny and easy to manipulate multiple ones, but then we also have big puppets like the brown bear, which is the size of like two of me. So it, it really comes down to the puppet builders who designed them to be able to work so seamlessly, but also to the choreographer who choreographed, because all like every tour has like slight nuances to
Yeah.
that the actors and the director bring to the
And it
show that makes it.
depends on the size of the stage as well, too, about how you're working those puppets. And yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Leonard.
Yeah. No. That was that's a yeah. There's nuances. So like ours is different than like other ones, but there is uniformity that comes from the original choreography that works so well. Especially the music is done was made specifically for this show. So the choreography blends into that music, blends into the transitions. So when you hear a new music cue, there's normally a new puppet that comes along with it.
It's so incredibly nuanced with the music. And we have like Leonard was saying, we have a puppet studio here in New York called the Rock Shop that builds all of our stuff. And while it's true, the design is absolutely to the millimeter from the book, the sort of fabrics that we've used, or the foam that we've used, or the things that we have used has evolved in the 10 years that we've been doing the show. It was originated in Australia in 2014. So we are coming up on 10 years. And so we've had at least a dozen different, what we call troops. So, a dozen shows, so different stories. And our builders, the puppeteers will come back, and some of our puppeteers are also builders, and they'll say, this is great, but if this could sort of bend a little bit more, and the builders will change out the foam. Or there's even things like in Brown Bear, there's a little trap where if they need to get inside the puppet, they don't have to completely disassemble it. Like they can get in and, redo some tie-ins or some bolts or whatever they need. So it's been 10 years of tweaking, but the style is identical to the book. And we worked very hard with the Eric Carle people to make sure it was exactly his vision.
Yeah, and then their movements are also really cool. Like, spoiler alert: the octopus can blink. They have really cool mechanisms to them as well.
The theater experience for the Very Hungry Caterpillar show, it tends to be a kid's first show. We skew pretty young. They're usually under 5. But really, with that average audience member being 2, 2 to 3, they're pretty little. So 9 times out of 10, it really is the first theatrical thing they've ever seen. And so because of that, we keep it's actually 4 different stories, and each story is about 10 minutes. So as soon as you feel like a kid's going to start getting restless, we've moved on to a new story. There's 75 puppets in that show. So they are constantly being entertained. So this theater experience in particular is just so incredibly unique to kids. We don't speak down to them. We are really talking to them as if you opened the book and you started reading the book and it just came to life. So that's what's unique about this particular theatrical experience. Leonard?
Yeah. First off, I would retweet all of that, because that was a very concise and amazing answer. From being a part of it, especially the first show, because since I'm swing, the first show I actually got to watch. And specifically, I got to watch, in front of me was a grandparent with their son and their kid. So I got to watch the grandparent watch their
Generations.
grandchild
Yeah.
have the multi-generational family and be able to experience that. And it's not just for the kids, it's the parents watching their kids watch their first show. And the thing that I feel is the most unique about this theater experience is that it's not the Nutcracker. It's not the typical 3 hour show that you can't bring a 5 year old or younger to sit there for 3 hours and expect them to be able to consume what's happening. This show allows them to interact with the show. Not even during, just before the show, you have the whole area, you have like toys, they can get acquainted to the space, get out their energy, and then during the show, we encourage that call and response. We encourage that interaction so that they feel a part of what's coming. We encourage like 1, 2, 3, 4, and like so that, and that really allows them to engage in the theater and find a love for the theater in a way that I don't think they can get from another show. And then the other part is how cool the puppets actually are because the younger kids are like, that's a real brown bear. Wow, look at that. And then the older kids are like, wow, look at that puppet. It's so cool. So like that experience is also the quality is so what's the word I'm looking for?
Good.
I mean, I'll use amazing. I don't have the SAT words today.
What is about Eric Carle's creative children book stories that are so captivating for the children, both the books and also this performance?
He has such a specific style. His artistry is just, it's really beautiful and it's really specific. As soon as you look at an Eric Carle book or anything that he's drawn, you can tell that it's his style. And again, it's sort of the simplicity of it. Normally you think ABC 1, 2, 3. It's very simple, but it's taking his just sort of stunning illustrations and taking very simple language, but that kids respond to. So during Brown Bear, we're naming animals. We're they're all a color, and it's very magical. His stories, and so that's, I think, for me, that's what's very special about his style. It's a very specific style.
Yes. It has a bunch of amazing textures and colors that captivate kids. But also, I was looking this up because, real quick, there's this one Eric Carle quote that I actually really love because I do feel like you feel it. Is that I believe that children are naturally creative and eager to learn. I want to show them that learning is really both fascinating and fun. And that experience of that, it's very, you feel the fact that he respects the kids and it's not a dumb human being or like it's nurturing that learning element that's innate to children. And these stories aren't just like oh, here's a simplified story of something older. This caterpillar is hungry. They have an arc, they have a journey. And like this, and okay, and the last one was the 10 Little Rubber Ducks, because I found out about this from being in the show that it was actually based off a news story of like this box of rubber ducks that went missing, and then he, being Eric Carle, took this as like, well, where did these ducks go? And gave each of them like a entire adventure that like, it's so mesmerizing to me, and to kids.
That's the perfect word. There is something sort of mesmerizing about it. It's both the art and the arc of the story that generations of families have connected to. I mean, again, it goes back to what Leonard was saying when there was a grandparent and the parent and the little kid. They've all read the books. The grandparent read it to now the baby's parent. So it's just been generations of these, incredible stories that he's given us.
I saw this line: sensory-friendly performances. Everyone should be able to experience magic live theater. Could you explain that a little more?
So for this, we keep the house lights on. They're not all the way up. We keep them low so that you're never in a dark theater. We do what we call kids corner when they come in, so that they kind of get a feel for the theater, because oftentimes not just kids on the spectrum, but all kids, if this is their first experience, they are nervous. They're not really sure what's going to happen. And so being able to be in the theater and they can color, and we have a lot of the Eric Carle sort of mini books out in the lobby so that they can look at those and they can kind of ease themselves into going into the show. And like I say, we keep the house lights on. Nothing is loud. There's nothing no sudden jolting noises. And we oftentimes will have, if people reach out to us online, we will send them a book or like a leaflet of like what they can expect. So when you get to the theater, this is what the front door looks like. This is what the box office looks like. This is what the ushers will look like. This is the inside of the theater. So that, again, sometimes it just will ease children, spectrum or non-spectrum. But so all of our performances, like I say, we make sure that the house lights are on at a glow, and the music nothing's too loud. The mics aren't too loud.
More than anything, I think I can speak for all of the cast. It's giving it your all each time, because it is a kid's first show. It is a memorable experience. It is a magical experience. The parents paid for this experience, and you want to give them the best show possible, something that they can really remember and cherish.
Very important question. Why must or should people come see the Very Hungry Caterpillar shows?
Very Hungry Caterpillar show. I think it's everything that Leonard and I have touched on for all of this. It is a perfect first show. It is generations of people that have read the books, and again, you're bringing grandparents together with their kids, with then their grandkids, and it's really special. I mean, it's a time that everybody's getting off of their phone. They're sitting together. The parents are just so delighted to watch the kids. And it's a really, really, really perfect introduction to live theater.
And I feel like these types of experiences are waning, especially for kids in that age. And in this iPad age, it's super hard to find things that not only are engaging in that way, but also that the kids can lean into. Because if it's like, okay, we're going to sit down and talk for dinner, the kid will do it when they're not happy about it. But when it comes to this type of engagement, it not only gives the actual experience of being there, but then it gives something to talk about. Now, when they go home, they have this caterpillar plushie to play with. Now, when they go home, they were already listening to the book before. You're already reading them the book before, but now they're like, "Oh, remember when he walked across stage? Remember that?" Yeah. And like, so it revitalizes that type of learning response. And then also with the station we have in the front, the socializing aspect of it as well. It's almost like it's not a playground, but like, kids interacting with kids in those manners. I saw the sweetest like interaction where like these two little girls were drawing, and then one of them was like, maybe she'll like a blue. She might not have a blue. And her mom was like, do you want to give her the blue? Yeah. So she gave her the blue, and then the mom was like, what do we say? Thank you. Maybe she'll like a pink. So she grabbed a pink and gave it to the other. And like little interactions like that are like, I don't know. It's so touching.
It's almost like an old-fashioned experience. It's hard to describe, but you don't have a lot of that anymore. I mean, and like Leonard said, it really is waning. Like there is not a lot of this out there, and it's one thing to put the kids in front of the TV, and there's some great stuff on TV, and I don't fault that at all. But you can see sort of, we are at a lack of creativity, and I think that it's just vitally important to not reintroduce this, but to introduce it to kids when they're little, so that they have a love for it forever. Is very important. I am Krista Robbins. I am the producer. I've been with the show since 2015, and I would love everybody to come see this amazing run. We are at the El Portal Theater through January 21st. And you can go to our website, which is caterpillarshow.com. And please come and have fun.
My name is Leonard James Moore II, actor, writer, ventriloquist, and puppeteer. I'm the swing for the Very Hungry Caterpillar Show. And I would love for everyone to experience something new, to find something they love and stick to it. And if you have some free time, to come see the Very Hungry Caterpillar Show running through January 21st at the El Portal Theater.